Work's over. And now it's time to go off the clock. Your favorite destination for the hottest sports topics, fantasy insight, betting lines, and game predictions. Sit back, kick off your shoes. You can even crack a cold one. And enjoy the show. Now, here are your hosts, Tyler, Jake, and Rob.
What's up, guys?
What's going on,
Three
fellas?
live show.
What's going on, my brother?
What's up? What's up?
What's going on?
What are you doing? You all have a good week?
Yeah, it's been crazy, but happy it's Sunday.
Yeah, you've been moving all over the place. Finally, just got settled in.
Yeah,
New
still
spot,
have
so-
a few boxes I need to go through still, but still glad it's over
Take
with.
the time.
Yeah.
Cool. What about you, Jake?
How about
You having a good week?
Yeah, good week, man. Got some good news I'll have in the next coming weeks for all of our viewers out there. Can't spill the beans just yet, but some pretty exciting news for myself. So
Mhm.
you'll have to tune in to maybe I'll spill the beans next live show. We can't do it yet. So good stuff on my end, though. Happy to be here with you guys. What are we talking about today, fellas?
Yeah, man. Let's jump in right into some action. I want to hear what you guys think is the best game to watch this weekend. Best game to watch.
I mean, GOAT versus GOAT. A-Rod versus Tom Brady.
That's debatable. I hate the injury. The injury bug bit both those teams.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at the week's lineups, outside of the Miami Buffalo game, really is not that strong of a week where I'm like, I need to watch this.
I mean, Buffalo has a lot of injuries now in their secondary. I think they're going to be rolling out a secondary that has a combined 3 NFL starts together.
Yeah, loss of Micah Hyde definitely hurts.
Oh,
yeah,
he's a
hell of a player.
Poyer's out too in that defense as well. So
I got one for you, Tyler. I think I got a must watch game. I'll damn sure be tuned into it.
Okay.
How about Sunday Night Football? How about the 49ers with Jimmy G against Russell Wilson and the Broncos?
Man,
the betting lines are super close on that.
In Denver, it's Jimmy G's it's his show finally to come out and say, look, man, you need to hold my nuts and you need to pay me, whoever it is, whether it's the Niners or it's someone else. And then you got Russell Wilson. Obviously, he's I would say a Hall of Fame quarterback, top first ballot. But I think he's still very unproven in Denver. Those wide receivers are kind of bad. I know Jared Jeudy was banged up, but I think
he's questionable to go tonight.
Yeah. I like the 49ers tonight. And I'm not going to get
in
too
Mile
much
High
into it as well. In Mile High, I think the 49ers get it done. I do. That's my must watch. Yeah, like you said,
well,
Rob, they're
good. You're over here giving early spoilers on our Sunday night picks, huh?
Yeah, man.
Well, we already know what he wants.
I gotta let the viewers know I'm back in the Niners. That's
right.
my must game. That's my must watch game.
I got you.
I'm looking through the schedule real fast, and I'm gonna go with the 425 Rams versus Cardinals. Every time those two teams. You know what? I got Cardinals.
I got a hot take about it. Kind of involves that game here in a little bit. I'll share it later whenever we get into our starts and sits.
I got Arizona winning. I think they're going to cover that spread too in 3.5. I just feel like they're coming up from momentum from that come behind win in Vegas. Kyler Murray is still Kyler Murray. I mean, come on. He's still a guy that's going to scrum around. He reminds me a little bit of a shorter version of Michael Vick. Is going to be able to do anything to get the play done. The defense still worries me, but I just don't know if the Rams offense for me is like sustainable. Like I just don't see them with that exact same pop. I mean, Cooper Kupp is going to get his catches and
why do you think that is?
I mean, Rob.
Why do you think their offense has gotten off to a slow start?
I mean, last year you had Robert Woods obviously there.
He was hurt majority of the year though.
Yeah, but he was still there. I mean, but he was there for what 2 weeks, 3 weeks before. They had Matthew Stafford there. He was pumped from leaving Detroit for the first time and actually going to a winning franchise. Sorry, Detroit fans, but you guys are not even close to becoming a winning franchise. I think the offense gelled. I think that defenses didn't know how to compete against that type of offense. With Cooper Cup, you had a relatively good running game. Defense was great. I think now people look at what the offense is now and they're like, all right, we know how to play against them. We know we need to cover Cooper Cup, Triple Crown winner. You need to make sure he's covered and make the Rams run the ball. And it's very hard for him to run the ball. Even last year, Henderson is still a great running back and Akers is still there too, but I just don't think their their running offense compared to other running offenses in the league. I don't think they're top 5. I think they're probably within the lower half of the top 10. And I think that's the big issue with them. They're having a hard time running the ball and they're making Matthew Stafford throw the ball, 40, 50 times, which he's used to, but
I think their
you
biggest
need a running game.
problem, I think the Rams' biggest problem right now is they don't have Van Jefferson. He's been out.
Yeah.
He's out again today, and I think he's one of the best third options at a receiver position. And Allen Robinson's role has not been defined yet on that team. I think Matthew Stafford, he's had elbow issues all camp. I think he's just it's gonna take him a little bit of time to get back into that groove like they had last year. But they also have no Odell anymore, which having that bona fide number 2 guy, which Robert Woods was before his injury, but we just got some breaking news too, fantasy-wise.
I think like we said a few shows.
What is it, Tyler?
Yeah, we got some breaking news for fantasy. Both Kamara and Josh Jacobs are healthy and ready to play.
Fuck. Didn't want to hear that. You motherfucker, Benny. I know you're listening to this show.
Yeah, we got a couple viewers in here. If you guys are in here, say what's up in the chat. Let me know who you guys are. Respond to anything that we're talking about right now, too. We want to hear everybody's opinion.
Just circling back to the Rams, Allen Robertson, I mean, he's a great wide receiver, but he's a 3 in my mind. Like, he's not really a 2. He went to Chicago, which was probably a bad decision, his take, because
he got paid.
He got paid, but his value coming out of Chicago was like extremely down. Even in fantasy value, it was like a no touchy for me. Van Jefferson's a big thing. Like, he's a great slot guy, and that's what they're missing. Because, I mean, Cooper Kupp, like I said, is getting 15 targets. But like I said before, what drives me absolutely crazy is these quarterbacks not playing in the preseason. And that's why I said the first episode of the show. And you can see it. There's no rhythm. There's no trust with the wide receiver. And that's what's happening with Matthew Stafford and Allen Robinson right now. Like, there's no rhythm. There's just
they haven't gelled yet, that's for sure.
Yeah. So
I think Robinson.
That's my take on that.
I think at the end of the year, though, we're going to be looking back on this and saying, man, were we wrong about Allen Robinson at the start? I just think that there's too much talent there. I think their offensive play caller and head coach Sean McVay is too smart not to get that guy going. And I think he's going to find a way. His snap share has been extremely, extremely high, over 90% snaps both weeks. Allen Robinson is fine. I wouldn't be too worried about him if you have him in fantasy football. I would even maybe argue this is the week where he actually blows up against a very shaky Cardinals secondary. They got Budda Baker, but besides that, they don't really have anybody in that back end that can really cover super well. I think he's going to get a ton of one-on-one with them bracketing Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that game's gonna be a high-scoring game. I don't think even the Rams' defenses hasn't been so secure, so I think that's probably the game to watch to me if you're looking for a high score to fair.
Yeah, well, my game of the week to watch this, I would have said Miami Buffalo just because I think it's going to be entertaining. I think it still will be entertaining, maybe even more so with that Buffalo defense banged up. But I'm going to go to my time, the 3:25 afternoon slate. LA Chargers with the hurt Justin Herbert and a most likely no Keenan Allen against a very, very strange Jacksonville Jaguar team. I mean, look, they skunked the Colts last week. They lost a close game at home week 1 to the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
I know you talked about how you're pretty high on the Jaguars, Rob, so far. I don't know if I am yet.
I'm not.
But I think it's going to be a very big, you can say, litmus test for the Jaguars to go into LA and see what they can do against Justin Herbert and the Chargers.
That's if Herbert plays.
I think he's playing. I think that guy's playing.
Yeah. I mean, he wants to
I
play.
hope so. I got him on a couple fantasy teams, and I have no backup
I do
quarterback on my
too,
bench
but
currently.
I picked up Chase Daniel just in case.
Okay, you're gonna play his backup if not. Okay.
I mean, there's no other choice for me. It's either
What's
him or
up,
Gino.
Benny, in the chat? Yes,
I'd rather
sir.
go with Chase.
But yeah, guys. Jake, you said your game of the week, Sunday night game. I think it's going to be an interesting one too. Russell Wilson has not looked impressive yet in Denver.
Nope.
And he's had actually two very, very favorable matchups too. Seattle and Houston, your Texans.
Yeah.
But all right. So talking about our week 3 games, must watch. What else you want to go into right now?
How about a little must start, must sit, little fantasy action for all of our viewers. Obviously, I know that's what we get a lot of hits on. Everyone loves us talking about fantasy. So it's Sunday, man. Why not? Let's do it.
So let's go with the 2 injury actives. Like, do you sit or start Alvin Kamara and Josh Jacobs?
So I'll start it off for all of our viewers. Actually,
Very tough question.
Shout out to my boy Benny. This one's going to be a shot at him as well.
We got Benny in the chat right now.
Yeah,
Benny in the chat.
My sit will be the guy I just traded to go to old Benny, Alvin Kamara. I don't know. I don't. If you have him, you don't sit him. Of course. I mean, you know what I mean. But it's one of those things. I'm not going to get up here and say some like non-obvious. It's like if you have Kamara, you're obviously going to start him. But maybe that would be somebody that if you have somebody else that's maybe a 14, 15 projection.
Let me chime in right here because I'm in this same dilemma. I got half PPR league. I got Alvin Kamara. I got Ezekiel Elliott. I got David Montgomery. And I got Cordero Patterson. And I got to start 3 of them.
So David Montgomery's my must start.
Okay. I would must start David.
Yeah. And I don't want to say somebody obvious like Austin Eckler or, you know what I mean? Yeah. Some guy that everyone's obviously going to start. You're probably obviously going to start David Montgomery as well. But I think this is where he kind of gets back on track.
I think almost every week for the past, 4 or 5 years, you can say Alvin Kamara is a must start when healthy.
Yeah,
for sure. And I think this is maybe the first time where there could be a legitimate argument, being banged up. We'll see his usage rate. It's a scary it's a scary play this week. I'll say that.
Again, I bring up the exact same topic I brought up a few weeks ago. Was Alvin Kamara's fantasy value to me has dropped tremendously because of his quarterback. Jameis Winston is not a viable quarterback option for Calvin Kamara. Drew Brees was a great because Drew Brees loved dumping the ball, loved doing screens, loved doing all those things. Jameis Winston wants to throw the ball down the field. That's why the dude has like 30 picks in a season because he wants to throw the ball down the field. And Alvin's
He's a risk taker for sure.
And Alvin's game is all, run the ball and also screens, dumping, catching those dump off passes and breaking it up for like 20 yards. That's his game. And right now the quarterback is not helping his case in that matter.
Hey, we have a question for one of our viewers, my boy Riley, out there in the HTX. He wants to know what do we think about if Julio's out? Does he start Rashad Perriman? Is Perriman a viable option if Julio is out? Because you have no Godwin, have no Mike Evans.
Can we ask Riley what his options are right here? Can we ask him what his other options are? Because I think it's very contextual with Rashad Perriman.
I can look at it right here. He needs somebody at his flex. So he would be choosing between if Julio's out, Julio's in his flex right now. If Julio's out, his options would be Travis Etienne, which I don't like. His other option would be Jerry Jeudy. Maybe if he's healthy, Rashad Penny.
The thing is, Jeudy plays at 7:20 tonight, so you got to wait all day to see if he's going to play.
So I think for Riley, he asked us a question. I think if Julio doesn't go, you have Perriman, Penny, Jeudy, or Etienne. I like Perriman. I mean Brady. I think he's going to want to sling the rock. Riley's playing against me, so I should give him shitty fantasy advice, but.
Here's what I would do. I would scratch off Rashad Penny. He's on the decline right now. That offensive line's no good in Seattle.
Yeah.
And they got a pretty tough matchup this week. Scratch Penny off. I personally think Travis Etienne might be the play here. And my reason being, I know he hasn't scored super well all season, but he's getting used very, very well in the passing game. And just in my opinion, I think that they're going to be down early in this game.
Seven targets through 2 weeks. That's not good usage.
Well, but here's the thing. Between him and Perryman has basically, out of the 2 weeks, obviously, we're still beginning the season, has only one good game where he only got 3 catches and a touchdown. Travis Etienne has got at least almost, he's averaging almost 8.5 points. So he's getting the rock.
I mean, Perryman's not going to do anything against Dallas.
Etienne had 2 tutties that he dropped in week 1, too. If he scores those,
but that hurts his value. Like, you know what I mean? If I'm a coaching staff, I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
Week 1, 8.5 points. Week 2, 8.3 points. You know, Perriman, week 1, negative 0.7, and week 2, 13.5 because he got that touchdown. That was
Riley asked about Greg Dortch out of the Arizona Cardinals. I didn't even know who that was. For the first week, he had 7 catches on 9 targets for 60 yards. And then week 2, he went 4 for 4 for 50 and a tutty. So I didn't even know Greg Dortch was a living human being. But Riley, I don't know, big dog.
The Dortch.
I mean, Dortch could be the option there. I mean, he has the last 2 games been hot. You know, he has 13 targets, 11 catches, 118 yards and a touchdown. I mean,
I think this is
Jalen's not going to cover
classic boom or bust conversation. I think Dortch, I think Perriman, they're either boom or bust guys.
Yeah.
I think ETN is the safe pick right here in the flex position in this scenario, but that's just my opinion, fellas. I think ETN.
What do you think about Jerry Jeudy? He says he's going to play.
Man, that makes it even more tough, man.
I wouldn't trust Jeudy because like anything can happen, and you're really trusting the fact
it's an ankle with Jeudy too, right?
Yeah. No, it's his ribs.
Is it?
It's his ribs.
It's his ribs.
Okay, I apologize. Yeah. I like Dortch until D-Hop comes back. Benny Gonzalez says Dortch has gotten some targets, man. I mean, where's Hollywood Brown?
I'll say this. I think
where's his target share?
I think that if you want to take the risk, do Dortch. I think the safer pick, I'm with you, Tyler, is ETN. I think that he's going to at least get some targets and the ball. He's going to get the rock more than probably Dortch does. But if you want to take the risk with Dortch, I would do Dortch. I wouldn't do Perryman. I just think that Leonard Fournette's going to get most of the touches and the catches.
Lenny stocked this game.
Yeah. So I just don't know Perryman is.
I personally think this game's going to be low scoring. Green Bay and Tampa Bay. I think it's going to be a low scoring.
Yeah, over under 42 or something like that. T Gray.
I'm not sure. Can you check that for me?
42. It's 42. 42 is the over under.
What in the world? But
I mean, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, a game set at 42. That's got to be like a fucking.
Yeah. That's a trap. That's a walking trap. Yeah. But all right, folks, let's keep this one rolling. I gave my start and sit. My sit's Kamara. You're probably not going to sit him if you have him because you're anxious to start him. Totally understandable. I think Montgomery gets back on track. Looked good last week. That's my must start. T Gray, just give us out really quick. You can give an explanation if you want, but obviously our viewers wanted us to get into other stuff. So must start, must sit.
Man, my must sit of the week. Another running back coming back from injury. It's J.K. Dobbins with the Baltimore Ravens.
For sure. The LaGrange product. Shout out LaGrange.
We'll see what his production is moving forward. I think they're going to kind of ease him in. And like I've said before, Baltimore's best running back is their quarterback, just like the Eagles. I'm fading any running back on the Eagles, any running back on the Ravens. Probably even the same thing with the Bills as well right now.
Yeah.
Singletary, I think you could start in a flex in a deep league, but any team with a very good running quarterback, the Cardinals might be the one exception, but
yeah.
But anyways, yeah. J.K. Dobbins, my must sit.
Must start.
Who's your start?
My must start, man. I was going back and forth on this. Okay.
I really like that sit, though, Tigre. I'm 100% with you. I don't like it at all. I would stay away. You're probably anxious to start J.K. Dobbins because you probably drafted him in the 3rd or 4th round. But I think you need to wait another week. I think
it's a wait and sit kind of thing with J.K.
Yeah.
I think my must start of the week, and this might be, a little controversial, but I think it's going to be who I said earlier, Travis Etienne.
Yeah.
Unless you're in like a 10-man league where you have other options. If you're in a 12-man league, the draft capital that you had to use on ETN, Just for instance, Riley. His usage is there, guys. His usage is there. He just hasn't popped yet. I think you still got to ride with them. But I'll give one other little start of the week. I think Curtis Samuel for the Commanders. He's been getting the ball a ton. If I had to guess, the Eagles are probably going to get up early on the Commanders, and they're going to have to throw the ball around. They're going to take little short passes. That's what Curtis Samuel's best at. PPR monster when healthy, when he was in Carolina as well. I think when we talk start sit, I'm really thinking about the flex position. I'm not going to say, like you said earlier, I'm not going to say Austin Eckler or Devontae Adams is a must start this week.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So I'm trying to think a little bit more outside the box. I know everybody has different teams and stuff, but I really think Travis Etienne, this is the week that he pops off.
Yeah. So I'll swing into my must sit, and I'm going off based on last 2 weeks and probably previous season. I'm just saying nothing but on the downward trend with this player, even though he was hurt last year. I say must sit Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't think the value's there anymore.
Yeah,
him.
That guy's done.
Yeah, I even when your quarterback's Patrick Mahomes and he doesn't want to give you the rock, then that's saying something. That offense is based surely, Kelsey,
Travis Kelce and quick hitters.
Quick hitters, and running the ball. Juju is not a good fit in that offense. I didn't understand why he went there. I think it was more like he
went there to do TikToks with Jackson Mahomes.
I guess so. So if he's on your flex, if you have 3 good wide receivers,
the All-Pro TikTok team.
If you're looking at 4 wide receivers and Juju Smith-Schuster is one of those 4, I would say bench him. I just don't think he's value. I think Indianapolis is going to come back after against giving a big old goose egg last week and going to come back with a vengeance. And 11 targets, 9 receptions, 89 yards on the season so far. I just don't see it's there for you.
Indianapolis is my dog of the day, fellas.
Yeah.
I'll throw that out there.
I'm going to throw a 2-hitter. I'm going to give you a really shocking one, and I think it's going to work. And I'm going to give you, and Jacob's going to like this. Must start George Kittle.
I love it. I was going to go there, but I didn't want to go there. Kind of like we've talked about. It's almost one of those things where it's like you've just been waiting to unleash him. I love it, Rob. I love it.
I'm not. George Kittle is not in the exact same conversation as J.K. Dobbins. George Kittle, Jimmy G is back.
I think a lot of it has to do with the position he plays too for fantasy football.
Yeah, and Jimmy G loves going to George. Like he loves him middle of the field, George Kittle, and
feed him.
He's one of my favorite players to watch, man.
He's going to feed him the rock early and hard in that Sunday night football game, and you're going to see. You're gonna question why the Rams even draft Trey Lance. Like with that,
I could see for Kittle like a 6 for 8, 100 yards and a tutty. I could see something like that. I'm going for 12 targets, 9 catches, touchdown, probably over 100 yards. Yeah. Because when Kittle pops, he pops.
He pops.
All right. Hey fellas, I gotta. Sorry. Go ahead. Continue on.
I just quick and one more thing, because of the wide receiver injuries, Sammy Watkins and Allen Lazard probably both not to play. Romeo Doubs flex.
I saw you dropped him in our work league. So what's all that about?
I picked him back up.
Sammy Watkins to IR. I think his stock did rise, Dubs, but I'm fading any Packers receiver right now. Maybe not named Lazard, and even Lazard, he's not a bona fide starter, in my opinion, in fantasy football. Unless you got like a real deep league where you're starting 3 receivers or something.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for somebody to slowly separate themselves from the pack in Green Bay. I feel like it's a matter of time. Obviously,
it's going to be Romeo Doubs.
I was going to say, if I was a betting man, I'd bet on Doubs.
Yeah, Doubs is going to be that guy.
Watson has that build. Watson has that build, though.
But Watson's out, though. He's going to be out today. Yeah.
Hey, I got a question.
Got Bakhtiari back. So
I got a question from a listener. They got to be in like a 10-man league or something, but you got to pick one of these guys. One of them.
God.
PPR: Cortland Sutton, Garrett Wilson, Curtis Samuel, or Drake London.
Ooh, I have a first thought. My first thought would be Cortland Sutton, but
That's my first thought too.
Garrett. All right, let me
Um,
look. Let me look at who everyone's playing though. Garrett
so
Wilson's playing the
I
Bengals.
would say this.
Wilson's playing the
I'm gonna throw.
Bengals. Samuel's playing the Eagles. London's playing the Seahawks.
I would do London. Drake.
I would say
London.
London or Sutton. I think it's a
I would
toss
say
up at that point.
I'm gonna leave my bias behind in the background, and I'm gonna go London because he's been proven to be the guy there. Because Kyle Pitts is just not showing up for some reason. I don't know if it's
I
just
don't
not
know
getting
what's happening to
targets
that guy.
or what's going on with him.
They need
But
to put a
Drake
reward
London.
sign out for him.
Yeah, Drake London, in my mind.
A bounty. Where's Kyle Pitts? He's wanted.
They need a wanted sign out for Kyle Pitts. That man is missing in action. I think the bounty's actually getting pretty high up there for the reward if they find him.
Look,
my answer to that guy before you go T Gray would be Cortland Sutton.
I think so too.
He's a dog. It's just a matter of time until him and Russell Wilson start clicking. Jerry Judy's ribs are all messed up.
I have Sutton in like most of my leagues, so I try to leave the bias of my Sutton pick behind me,
Yeah.
and I think of Drake London, but I mean I agree with Sutton too.
Benny said Sutton, especially with Judy being banged up. Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta agree. I think it's too early to must start a Garrett Wilson, even though you had a big game last week. You got Joe
I just
Flacco
don't
still
trust
as your
Joe
quarterback.
Flacco. Yeah.
Curtis Samuel, I think he should be in that conversation above Drake London, in my personal opinion, just because of his usage so far. But I think Sutton, you took Sutton at a certain spot in your draft much higher than any of those other players. I think it's still so early on. We're going into week 3, fellas. It's so early on. You got to ride with what you You got to ride with what you trusted in when you drafted. You know, you can't go ahead and throw in the towel on someone that you picked that early, in my opinion.
So
Cam Akers might be the only one that I might throw the towel in on.
I'm trying to stay unbiased because he is on my team, but I just think, honestly, I'm like the real sportsman in me. I think it's a matter of time before Terry McLaurin really starts getting it going. Obviously they just paid him not a mega max, but a pretty solid contract. Curtis Samuel does scare me, but I think in Washington it's only a matter of time until Terry starts proving that he is the wide receiver one there. But I don't know. They do have some dogs. John Dotson, Samuel, Thomas is back. They're going to be getting Robertson back. So they do
Scary
have some
Terry
dogs,
scares me. He's never finished, I don't think, inside the top 20 as a fantasy football wide receiver, man.
He gets 7 points or 20. Literally. I looked at his stats last year. He gets probably 6 or 7 points, or he's going to go for 20 or 25. There's no solid 13 to 15 point games.
I don't like that in terms of, a bona fide starter in my lineup. I'm scared of Scary Terry.
That's why his name is Scary Terry. That's why his name is Scary Terry. But let's segue to dogs of the week. Like, who is your guys' dog of the week?
I shared it a minute ago. I think the Indianapolis Colts are my dog of the week. And it's a scary dog to pick.
Are you picking them to win straight up, or do you like the plus 5.5?
Well, I love the plus 5.5, but I mean, for our dogs of the week, this is kind of a.
This is saying to win. We're not.
No, I understand. I think that they're going to win this game at home. Their first game at home of the season against Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is a West Coast player. It's tough for those guys to travel across the country. Look, I picked the Jets last week. And that was controversial.
You hit on that one. I'll bet it.
This is one of those things where, like, I mean, do you pick the Dolphins over the Bills as the dog of the week? You know what I mean? Like,
I got you. T-Gray, do you know that guy, $1 Million Marco? He's the dude that pops on all the massive parlays.
No.
You haven't. You'll have to check him out. He's on Jake Paul's podcast. He hits on all these like $1 million parlays. It's insane. But he had the Colts as well, but he bought 2 points up to 7.5, and he said he loves that. Obviously, that would probably cost you what, $30-$40 if you buy a couple points instead of 110.
Yeah, I don't buy any points, man.
Yeah. So the 5.5 is scary. I would feel better at 7.5, but I could easily see the Chiefs getting their hands on them. But my dog of the day, it's too much of a dog. A lot of these spreads are low this week. Cowboys +1, 49ers -1.5, Falcons +1, Rams -3.5, Packers +1.5, Chargers 3.5. Like, they're all super low. I mean, there's no double-digit spreads.
The Chargers spread was 6.5 as of I think yesterday morning, but that 3.5 change by Vegas
that means
may
Vegas
indicate
Justin Herbert.
Yeah, may indicate what
So I think this week is going to be a lot of really good games. There's not even a spread that's over 7. The biggest one is the Lions and Vikings. But all that fluff being said, my dog of the week, I think old shit stick, the guy I hate the most, Baker Mayfield. I think they get it done this week against the Saints at home.
Really?
They're
That's a good
+2,
one.
so it's not that too much of a dog. Some
No
sites
Marcus
even
Lattimore.
That's one of my
FanDuel
That's one of my bets of the week is New
has
Orleans
yeah.
-2.
Do you? FanDuel has the Panthers at +1.5, so it's not even really a dog. But I like the Panthers. I think CMC gets rolling. I think Robbie and DJ and those guys get rolling. And I don't think they start 0-3.
I like that one. That's a good one. My dog of the week. I'm actually going to go. I'm going to go based on last week. I have no faith in Kirk Cousins, so I'm going Detroit Lions beating Minnesota at Minnesota.
Okay.
I think that team is rolling. I think Minnesota is going to be more of a downward trend because, I mean, they couldn't move the ball at all until at least the second half in the Monday night game, and I just don't. I have more faith in Jared Goff than I do Kirk Cousins.
You
Honestly,
know,
and no, go ahead.
no, finish up. I got a long spiel.
No, I was gonna say like I think Swift is working on all horses. You got Jamal Williams, you have a really underrated wide receiving core in Detroit, and their defense is good. I'm not gonna say they're great, but they're good. They're right now currently probably a top 15 defense, more towards the bottom half of that than the top half. But I think they're gonna pressure Kirk
I don't
Cousins
think Detroit's
early.
defense is good at all.
I think they're top to 15 defense.
No chance. They're
No,
bottom
probably
10.
not.
I mean,
I think.
They're ranked 28th. They're ranked
you.
28th in fantasy right now.
Oh,
I gave up 38 points to the
I
Eagles,
still
and
think
then
that's just me.
They've
almost-
given up 50. They've given up
Jalen
59
Hurts.
points.
That's
in 2
unfair.
weeks. They've given up 59 points in 2
Jalen
weeks.
Yeah.
27
think
27 to
that
Washington.
They're okay. I would still put my money on that team. Like I would put the 6.5. I would bet it.
Look,
I would if I was a betting man.
I think that's a great bet. I think that Detroit could win this game, but I think it's going to be super fucking high scoring if that's the case. And I meant to say this earlier. This might shock you two. I know it probably will shock you two. But my quarterback stream of the week, which I know we already went through starts and sits, but I want to throw this out there. It's the guy in Minnesota, Kirk Cousins, against that defense. He's playing at noon. He's playing at noon. He's playing at noon. He's not in prime time this week. Thank goodness for them. But I'm actually starting him in one of my leagues
Does
over
the Vikings
Kyler
ever
Murray.
play prime time again?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm starting
Let's talk
Kirk
on
Cousins
Tuesday,
over
see
Kyler
see.
Murray in one of my leagues, though, fellas. I don't know what you guys think about
I
that.
think you drink too much over the weekend. I wouldn't do that.
Say that again.
I'm starting Kirk Cousins
He's starting
at home
Kyler
against the
Mur-
Lions.
Kirk Cousins over Kyler. Over Kyler Murray.
Nah, I mean that's not loud.
Kyler Murray's career stats against the Rams are the worst team that he plays against. They have a good, solid defense. The
He does.
Cardinals,
I remember
even though
last
they
year.
pulled out that win against the Vegas Raiders last week, I don't think the Cardinals are a very good team. Kyler's great. I think he's great. I don't think he's like an upper echelon quarterback, but in fantasy football, he's great. He's going to rush the ball. But I just don't think that they're going to allow it. They're going to make them, especially with James Conner out, they're going to make their receivers beat them, and I don't think they can.
I think James Conner's going to get the start. What I just saw.
Is he good to go?
I think they're going to start.
He's
him.
going to
They
play.
said- They said he's
Yeah.
a game time decision, but he's trending toward they're going to play him. He did have some limited. He did have some limited action this week. I've been watching him because I have him in one of my leagues.
I think that almost maybe even hurts Kyler Murray's value a little bit with James Conner playing. I think they'll try to run the ball and slow down the pace a little bit more instead of going with Eno. But
I don't know.
Yeah,
It
that's
just
just
depends
another
if that
side thing.
defense can hold up.
How about this, fellas? How about we, for all of our viewers and obviously for the stream, how about we get into our lock of the week? Somebody that you are going to the bank, you're getting your deposit slip, you're telling the bank teller to withdraw all the money, and you're driving it straight to the casino, and you're letting it fucking ride.
I got two
Who
for
we
you.
riding on? Who we riding on? I just want one.
Well, I already mentioned one earlier. I
Which one was
love
that?
New
That
Orleans
was-
+2 or -2. Sorry,
That was
against
your
Carolina.
lock?
Yeah, that's my lock of the week for
That's your
sure.
lock? Okay, well, what's your second one then?
My second one is Ravens -2.5 against the Patriots. I
That
want
was
to
a good
hammer
one.
that. I want to hammer it.
Back up the Brinks truck. Hey,
Yeah, back
babe,
it up.
go to Wells Fargo.
Do, do. Back that son of a bitch up.
I always like us having different takes, but I'm just gonna give that
That's
mine
good.
as well, T Gray. There is no fucking way. There is no way that the Ravens don't win. There's just no way.
2.5. I mean, it's in Foxborough, I believe.
I don't
but,
care.
Yeah, I don't
am
care
not
either.
scared. I am not scared of Mac Jones. I'm not scared of Devontae Parker. I'm not scared of Jacoby Myers. I'm not scared of old dog shit Nelson Aguilar. Hunter Henry doesn't scare me. Damn it, Bill Belichick doesn't fucking scare me.
I'm gonna laugh Patriots come out and win 42-7.
Hell no. Ravens to the bank, Tigre. I'll meet you at the cash counter. There ain't no casinos in Texas, but I'll meet you in Louisiana.
Hey, I got 2 hours to get to Lake Charles real quick. So, what are they at noon? Are they? I just got to cross the border. I can cross the border in an hour. Place a bet on my phone.
All right, Rob.
I'm gonna take Jake's good old Houston Texans +3. I don't trust Justin Fields right now. I think Lovie Smith goes into Chicago as the old head coach, just stops David Montgomery running the ball and makes Justin Fields throw it. I think Houston cover, and actually I would take the over on it.
That gives me the heebie-jeebies, Rob. That bet gives me the heebie-jeebies.
I think Lovie Smith goes back in Chicago and shows like I'm a better coach than what you got right now.
Okay. I mean, I gotta respect the pick. Obviously, I mean, maybe I'm completely wrong. I'm staying away from everything in that game. If I had to touch something, it'd be the under. But I even think the under is fucking scary, man. I mean, both defenses aren't that good. The offenses sure as hell aren't that good.
Right now, I wonder.
I think it's sunny.
Yeah, are they playing in a mud bowl again?
It's 63 right now and cloudy, so it doesn't wind 13 miles. Is 13 miles an hour of wind a lot of wind?
It's not Chicago. A little, that's for sure. But
not little.
It swirls around in Soldier Field.
The way Soldier Field's built, it's like the wind goes down.
Yeah. Rob, you've been there, right? Or have you not been there?
Yeah, I've been there.
You've been there?
Yeah. The wind blows down because the where the stadium is right next to the lake, so you get a lot of that wind right there at the stadium.
How about we do a couple more takes, fellas, and we get ready for some football? How about we dive into Sunday night football? For all of our viewers, they've already heard mine, so I'm going to take a back seat on this one. Everyone knows I'm riding with the Niners, but Rob, Tyler, y'all take the floor, guys.
Man,
I'll take this one, and then you go, Tyler.
Well, let me explain this real quick, just for our viewers. Our Sunday night football picks, just like the commentators do before the game, this is not based on spreads. This is not based on anything. It's just straight up who we think are going to win the game. So go ahead, Rob.
And for all of our viewers, I think our records are 1-1. We're all 1-1.
Yep, we are.
Yeah.
Yep.
I should have mentioned that too.
Because me and Tyler took Green Bay, and then
obviously we knew.
Jake the Snake down there taking Chicago.
He tried to bear down last week, and
he tried to bear down, but it didn't work. I'm taking Russell Wilson in Denver. Ooh. I think that I just think last week his first home game in Denver was such a shit show. He needs to bounce back this week. I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be between 3 to 4 points. But I just don't see Russell Wilson going out and doing terrible again at Mile High after last week's performance. So I have more faith in Russell than the Niners right now. And, I know the offense is going to click on the offense of Niners, but the defense is a little iffy to me. So I know you got Bosa, but I mean, outside of that, I don't know who else is going to stop you on that defense. So, and I have more faith in the Denver defense compared to the Niners right now. So I have Denver.
Real quick, T-Gray, before you go, I have a question for Rob. Can't say Russell Wilson. Can't say Jimmy Garoppolo. Who is the highest scoring fantasy player in Sunday Night Football tonight? Who will finish number 1 in fantasy points? Can't say either quarterback.
I know who my answer is.
I'm not asking for 1-1. I'm just asking for one person with the two teams combined.
Well, that's hard. I mean, I'm going to go Court's on it. I know.
I got Debo.
I was going to say Debo, but I mean, George Kittle. I mean, so many people. I could say Debo, George Kittle.
I got Debo, Javonte Williams, and then Sutton.
I'm going to go
Sutton. This is tough.
I think what you're going to see the stat line is 10 catches, 14 targets, 160 yards, a touchdown.
A monster day for old Cortland.
I think Jared Judy's going to go out there for more of a, kind of a
Distraction.
distraction than anything.
He's going to run around in circles.
Hey, I mean, just to get people to cover him, and then Court's just going to get all those targets. It's like Tyler Lockett in Seattle for Russell Wilson, which
Tyler actually had a good game last week.
I know, but I'm just saying, I think Sutton's going to be like Tyler Lockett for him. Like he loved to go Tyler Lockett in Seattle, and so I think that this is what you're going to get out of Sutton tonight.
What about you, T?
I said Debo for that. I think he's going to be the highest scoring game. I think they're going to try to. I mean, San Francisco loves to run the ball. Their running backs are all a little banged up. I know Mitchell's supposed to play, but they're going to hand the ball off to Debo some too.
Elijah Mitchell's supposed to play?
No, he's not.
No,
he's out for 2 months. Wilson.
Sorry, Jeff Wilson. Sorry.
Oh, you said Mitchell. You threw
my
me
bad.
off,
My bad. Yeah, my mistake.
I said, what I was thinking he got some miracle. He got some miracle potion or something.
You had Jake in the free agency looking for him just to go pick him up.
I already had my phone in my hand.
Nah, but in terms of my Sunday night football pick, this is a real tough one. I think it's the toughest game so far to pick. I mean, I had to take my Cowboys in week 1. I had to go with the Packers last week. I think that was an easy pick, even though you try to bear down on us. But
I knew better.
Man, I'm going back and forth. You guys both made great points about
Don't
both
do
teams.
it, Tyler. You know, roll with your heart. You know what to do.
Come to the dark side.
Man, I've not seen enough from Russell Wilson yet. But if you're gonna tell me though that the Denver Broncos with Russell Wilson are gonna struggle all year, I'm not gonna believe it. So I'm going with the Denver Broncos tonight. It's Jimmy G's first start of the season. Maybe he didn't shake off all the rust last week against the Seattle team. Man, I could make an argument for both, but I'm going with the home team in Mile High. It's real hard to go play in that altitude, especially when it's at night like that. It's even a little bit harder to breathe. So
we can make arguments between both offenses, between Denver and the Niners. They both pretty much like cancel each other out outside of the tight ends because of Kittle, and Denver doesn't really have a tight end. But the real question is who has the better defense. So, Jake, are you telling me right now Denver has a worse defense compared to the Niners? I don't think so. I
wouldn't say worse. I wouldn't say better though either, man.
That's what I was.
Their secondary is way better than the Niners.
So
I agree, but I think their front seven's better than the Broncos. They got Joey Bosa. They got Fred Warner.
So, like I said last week on the show, I don't know too much about defenses.
Nick Bosa, sorry.
When I played Madden, I just let the computer pick me a defense.
You do verticals.
Yeah, my verticals on offense and I random pick on defense. So I don't know too much about defenses, but from just watching as an outsider, I think I kind of agree with T. Gray. They're not better, they're not worse. I think they're kind of. It's still early, like we're saying. You know what I mean? It's week 3. I don't know. So
it's a tough one. Very tough.
I want to get y'all's honest opinion on something else, though. Tyler, I already know what's coming from you, man. I mean, I don't know, but it's mainly, I guess, for Rob. Do you truly think, Rob, the Cowboys go into MetLife and beat the Giants? Because I don't.
No,
I truly believe in my heart.
I think
I'm not a Cowboys hater. I'm not a Cowboys hater at all.
Who's your third string? Who's your backup to the backup, Tyler?
Will Greer played at West Virginia.
I think you're gonna see Will Greer. I think you're gonna see Will Greer at MetLife on Monday night.
I truly believe in my heart the Giants are gonna get this game. I really do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The best bet for the Cowboys.
I don't know why you think that. Because of Cooper
I think the
Rush?
best bet for the Cowboys to even get to a playoff contending because of Dak being hurt. I think they need to be at least 500. Even by the time he comes back from injury. If they're at 500, the record,
he gets his stitches out tomorrow before the game.
So if they're like,
I saw you picked them up.
Whatever, I think it was
you sick fuck.
That's on my IR, baby.
I don't know how I didn't think about it because he could have went on my IR. You are you sicko. When I saw it, I was so pissed. I was like, damn.
I mean, I don't know who dropped him. That's the first question.
Yeah, exactly. I saw somebody drop him. I was like, are you kidding me?
He's gonna be back. But if they're 3,
I might be able to trade Justin Herbert for someone.
I don't know about that. Nah.
But if they're 3-3, I think the Cowboys have a legitimate chance of winning the division. But if they come out and are like, I don't know, like 3 games under 500 or something like that, it's going to be a hard road coming out of there because you have to go. I mean, in November you have to go to Lambeau, and Lambeau in November is hard. Like
Hey,
that's cold weather.
Here's their next 6 games, Rob. You got at New York Monday night, home against Washington, at LA Rams, at Philly, home against the Lions, home against the Bears.
So I could make a case that they go. Oh, I could make a case that they go 1-5. Seriously,
I can make
I
a case
really
they could go. I think they could win 2-3 games out of that schedule.
say those again. Say those.
They're
next
not
ones
being
again.
Giants
Cooper Rush.
at Giants, home against Washington, at LA,
So that's
at
a for
Philly.
sure loss. That's a for sure loss.
So me and
home,
John-
home against the Lions, and then home against the Bears.
So you
the
you'll
Lions
probably
and the
beat
Bears.
Lions and Bears. Well, those are 2 wins you're probably going to get. I think
But,
you're going to lose Monday night in at MetLife. You're not beating the Eagles with Jalen Hurts playing.
And
the
I
way
don't
he's
think they
playing
beat the
now.
Commanders either.
I think they beat the Commanders, so I
Do
say
you?
3 there.
Here's my take on this. I mean, I love talking about the Cowboys. I'll do it all day if you let me. But I think picking the Giants.
What should scare us, T. Gray? Tell us what should scare us about the Cowboys. Seriously.
Okay, so what should scare you about the Cowboys is that the cavalry is fucking coming. Now, the whole squad's not coming on Monday night, but Michael Gallup's going to be playing. Jason Peters might be ready to suit up, so that's going to fill a void in the offensive line. Hopefully they move Tyler Smith, who's actually playing very well at left tackle as a rookie. Hopefully they move him back into left guard so he can just wrestle people in a phone booth because that's what he's best at. But what should scare you, though, is not any of those things first. It should be the other side of the ball, and it should be number 11. I think he's the best offensive player on the planet right now. I don't know how you can make an argument except for maybe Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
But Micah Parsons can do so much, and this isn't just me, talking out of my ass because I'm a Cowboys fan. I think if I was a fan of another team, I think Micah Parsons is probably one of the most electric players to watch just because of everything that he does.
And you can move him around so much.
He can cover, he can blitz, he can rush off the edge. I mean,
I agree.
You know his nickname, right? The Lion. I think he's created a new position in football, the linebacker.
So does it pain you to watch Amari Cooper? No, it's. Does it pain you to watch Amari Cooper like catch 10 balls on Thursday Night Football, and you're like, damn, I wish I had that in Dallas right now? Like,
do I miss Coop? Yes, I do. Was he a good football player? Yes. Did I think he was overpaid? Yeah.
yes.
Why didn't y'all just restructure his contract? He probably wouldn't.
You can't do that. Yeah.
He was not taking a restructure. Yeah. I mean, he knew.
Now, and everybody dogs the Cowboys for the value that they got back for him. I guarantee you that wasn't the first offer that they listened to and just accepted it on the spot. They're shopping him around. People didn't want any part of him. Amari Cooper, I will say this, though, about him, the one thing, and it's really the thing that the Cowboys dislike the most and the reason why they got rid of him. And I know you guys probably don't watch every single Cowboys games, but in a lot of big games over the few years, he would just disappear. He never had 100-yard games in back-to-back games and as his time with the Cowboys. And he just did it with the Browns. But I mean, I don't know. It's tough.
Do you think that's a Cowboy thing? Because he did it with Jacoby Brissett, and Dak Prescott was. Do you think maybe like Dak was just not giving him the ball, and he would just want to give him, he was trying to more spread the ball around, and he got kind of tired of not getting the rock?
I mean, I think you can make an argument that the play calling and the design of the offense, especially at the tail end of last season, kind of sputtered. I think that they weren't getting the best players on their team the ball enough. Tony Pollard, Lamb, Cooper. But I think that had to do with a lot had to do with the fact that defenses were playing so much shell coverage and daring them to run the ball. And they didn't commit to it and they couldn't do it. So that was their biggest issue last year.
They couldn't commit to Zeke, and I can understand why.
And I mean, Zeke was hurt. I don't know why he was playing for some of those games. They should have let him rest, but that's neither here nor there. But you should be scared of the Cowboys defense. And the thing about me is nothing scares me about the Giants, fellas.
So Saquon doesn't scare you?
He doesn't scare me. Their offensive line's not very good. Their quarterback's not very good. Their best playmaker on offense doesn't get the ball for some reason. I think because he's in like quarrel with the coaches, which is Kadarius Toney.
Kenny Galladay's not a scrub either.
He's not playing. They don't like Kenny Galladay.
That's what I'm saying. Him and Tony, like they're not. Well, we know Tony's
not playing. Yeah, Tony's not going to play.
It makes
on
no
Monday.
sense.
But he hasn't been getting the rock enough. Nothing scares him against the Giants. I think their secondary is much improved, but their linebackers, they suck. They're missing a couple people on the defensive line. If the Giants go and win on Monday night, I'm not going to be like shocked. It's not going to be a colossal upset. But I think people are still sleeping on this Cowboys team because their defense is, in my opinion, a top 5 defense in the league.
They did just come and beat the Bengals.
I mean, they've given up 2 total touchdowns so far to Tom Brady and to Joe Burrow.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think Daniel Jones and that New York offense even comes close to the 2 teams that they played. You don't
trust Danny Dimes?
Fuck no.
I'll say this though: if the Giants win the game on Monday night, I think Daniel Jones rushes for over 50 yards. I think he hurts them on a few third downs, beats them with his legs, and they can't get off the field. And then Cooper Rush has a mediocre backup quarterback game where they score 17 points.
If the Giants win on Monday night, you have to wear a Giants t-shirt. It can be super cheap. A Giants t-shirt to next stream next Sunday morning.
What if the Cowboys win though?
What's it get?
If the Cowboys win on Monday, I will wear a Cowboys t-shirt for the stream next Sunday. I'm not buying a jersey because I'm not spending $100 on a jersey. I'll buy a t-shirt.
But I don't want to spend $20 on a piece of shit now. Come on. Look, I'll do something. I'm not gonna pay for a Giants t-shirt because it's gonna go straight to the trash afterwards. But I'll do something. I'll tweet out something. I don't know.
If the Giants win, you would need to come to the stream on Sunday with a Giants background. Okay, saying "Let's go Giants." And then if the Cowboys win, exact same thing for Jake. Has to come with the Cowboys background was "Let's go Cowboys." I think that's cheap.
Y'all can show me how to make a background.
Yeah,
it'll be simple.
Online, you can just download.
All right,
yeah, it'll be simple. It's cheap. No one needs to buy anything, and
that's good. T-Gray.
Cool. Everybody's here to witness.
I think it's fair and even.
Well,
I think
go ahead.
Sorry, I just want to get my 2 cents. I think if the Giants go win, they're rushing over 200 yards in that game. And if they do that, they're winning that game.
I think this is the Zeke coming out party. This might be because I have him on my team and I'm just trying to believe in him.
Hey, let me give you this.
Believe.
Every morning I wake up and I'm like, he's going to be better this week. Let
me give you this stat, Jake. I'm going to make you feel better. In every single game against the Giants in his career, Ezekiel Elliott has done at least one of these 2 things, if not both: 100 yards or a touchdown.
I'll take 100 yards. That's only 10 points, but damn it, I hope he catches a couple passes too.
I think Zeke goes 17 carries for 97 yards and a tutty, and I think Tony Pollard goes 12 carries for 130 yards. He's gonna bust one.
Total yards are just like 112 and 100.
So they're gonna. You're saying they're gonna have over 200, about 230 in rushing.
Yeah, that was about what 210,
97 plus 130 that's about 230.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of rushing yards.
Anyways, well, it's gonna be an interesting Monday night game. I'll be seeing it.
What a way to end the show.
I'll be ready for tomorrow. No, it's gonna be a good game. I think it's a toss.
It's gonna be. I think both Sunday and Monday night games are actually gonna be really good. I mean, there's nothing like Cowboys Giants like on Monday Night Football, and there's nothing like.
Unlike this past week, week 2 was a dud in terms of prime time, but
well, week 1 was even. I mean, week 1 wasn't that great. Week 2 was like, oh my god, like NFL, please look.
What was the Sunday night game? Week 1 was Cowboys Bucks, which I think was at least competitive for most of the game.
Packers Bears.
It's competitive.
And then
Packers,
Monday.
Bears,
what was Monday night?
Oh my god. Well, you had shit stick Kirk Cousins fucking just absolutely trashed it up the place, and then you had the Bills just destroying Ryan Tannehill.
Well, yeah, what was week 1 Monday night though? I'm going blank right now. It was Russell.
It was Broncos.
Seahawks.
And then week 2 Monday night was the doubleheader, the Titans, Bills,
Yep.
and Vikings and Eagles.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But fellas, it's always
Yeah,
a
I think
pleasure.
that's it for me.
I'm about ready to get some food in me, get some drink in me, and watch my Texans go into Soldier Field and probably get shit on.
You know,
Win.
let me get y'all's
Hey,
opinion on
I'm
this
about
just
to
real
take that
quick.
money to the bank.
When your team doesn't play on Sunday, which is the case for me, when they don't play on Sunday, it just doesn't feel right.
Nah, it doesn't.
Because you're looking forward to it
It
all week,
doesn't.
and you got to
I
wait
mean,
that one extra day
But
to
then
watch your
that
team.
Monday night, it doesn't feel right for us, and you're just in a whole another. You're in your own world. You know what I mean?
There's
But
pros
I
and
get
cons. There's pros and cons.
it's hard watching all the
Yeah.
Sunday games, and
And so
you
we
just
get
realize that you're
The
Joe
game's
and
at
Troy's
425.
first Cowboys game on ESPN.
I hate Joe Buck, so.
Yeah, and hold on.
Watch
We
it.
got to get Rob into that little bet that we had earlier, Tigre. I say, Tigre, do you agree that if the Packers lose to the GOAT, that he has to come with a "Let's Go Bucks" background? I think that's.
I
only
mean, that
fair.
has. I mean,
think
that's
that's
not.
That's your team,
I mean,
though.
sure.
That's.
I
your
mean,
team.
I'll do it. I mean, I think they're going to go into Tampa and win. I don't know who Tom
He
Brady
has
throws
to he has to have a
Leonard
Brady
Fournette.
goat in the background.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna modify my bet, T. Gray. I don't care if the Cowboys win. I'll do a Bears one for my Texans. My Texans are playing the Bears. I'm a
Okay.
diehard
All right, let's
Texans
do it.
fan. I don't care if the Cowboys win. It doesn't affect me. So
See, here's the thing, though. The Giants are one of our rivals. The teams that y'all
That's
are playing
true.
aren't really rivals. You don't really care too much
Nah,
about the Bucks or
but
the Bears. I
I'll
fucking hate the
come.
Giants. Let me tell you that.
Yeah. So if the Cowboys lose, you come with the Giants background. If the Texans lose, which I'll already start creating my Bears one because I feel like we're going to get stopped already.
I mean, I wouldn't do it so fast. I think Texans actually have a better
You
shot
did.
than you
And
think.
then
But
Rob comes with a goat with Brady's head on the goat.
Yep.
I already know my stepdad's a huge Tom Brady fan, so I could probably
I
pull
know.
something.
His
I
man
bet
cave
the
is
dinner
sick.
table gets a little weird sometimes.
Nah,
His stepdad has a basement that's like literally the ultimate man cave.
Oh,
It's
really?
fucking it's
Is
massive.
that where you're
It
at
has,
right
like-
now?
yeah, I'm in my
Yeah.
parents. I mean,
Yeah.
my mom's office right now, but his man cave has like a.
I want
pool
to
spot
see a
there.
picture if you get a moment today.
I'll send a picture. I'll put it in a Discord channel so everyone.
You have to
can
take
see
a
it.
video though to show everything because it's like when
Yeah.
you walk down, you can go to the but
Yeah, it's pretty dope. This is pretty cool. So
Well,
Alrighty,
fellas,
Yep.
y'all have a good day.
Alright.
Enjoy some football. People, thanks for tuning in. As always, if you enjoyed the content, go ahead, drop a like, drop a subscription. It costs you nothing. And what we really, really ask you to do, that's going to help us a lot. But right now, we all want to start growing our Discord channel. So go ahead, join the Discord channel with the link. Come in there. There's chat rooms. There's voice chat rooms.
invite your friends.
And I think we had a little reach out from one of our viewers who wants to be one of our first guests, or it would be our first guest on the show. But yeah, if you guys come in there, you request to be a guest, I think that we can maybe make that work sometime in the future. So I appreciate everybody. Appreciate you guys coming on this morning. I'm not hungover this week like I was last week, so I apologize again for that. Crazy weekend last weekend, but yeah, that's all for me.
That's it.
Yeah,
for
it's
me,
all from
fellas.
all of us.
Enjoy y'all Sunday.
All right,
See
take
ya.
care. Later.
Thanks for tuning in to the Off the Clock Show. If you enjoyed what you heard, go ahead and hit that like button. If you really want to show your support, please consider subscribing. You can also follow us at our social media sites listed in the description. We will talk to you next time. Off the Clock.